full moon is going to be powerful. Today I'm going to be deep diving into the top 5 things that you need to know about the November 30th Gemini full moon in eclipse 2020. Welcome back, beautiful souls, to the channel. I'm Shika, your conscious mentor, and today I'm going to be deep diving into an energy update of exactly what you need to know about this Gemini full moon that is happening on November 30th, 2020, and all of the ways that it's going to affect us. This full moon is going to shake things 2 ways that you probably don't expect. And I really can't wait to share with you how you can really take advantage of the lessons that this full moon is going to share with us, not only for the 30th, but for this whole year. So before we get into this video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, like and subscribe, as well as put notification bells. I do videos every single week for you beautiful souls, 3 or more, and I do these full moon and new moon updates every single month. So make sure you put that subscribe button and put notification bells. And today's subscriber of the day is Maya. Thank you so much for being part of this family. I am so grateful for each and every single one of you guys. Make sure you also come back here on the 30th of November, as I will be hosting a live on YouTube, a live meditation and energy healing for you, so you can take advantage of the energy and all the things that I'm going to share with you in this video. So let's get into the energy update. So number 1, the first and foremost thing that you need to know about the November 30th Gemini full moon 2020 is that change is here. If you haven't been noticing, but you might have felt like things are uncertain, things are changing, you're feeling more inclined to go inwards, not to put too much effort out there. I know I've been such a hermit, and if you've also been feeling such a hermit kind of emotion, make sure you put a heart emoji in the comment section, because that is okay. This eclipse full moon, November 30th, is telling us that because there's so much change going to happen in your life or already happening, it's not a time to overwork. It's not a time to go search out of yourself for answers. It's a time to be still, even if you can't really self-accept this whole change. Remember, Gemini is the sign of communication. Gemini is the sign of kind of showing our sides, our various sides of ourself. And I think that's really what we're seeing. We're seeing the twins of ourself in different perspectives and showing us how we can grow from those changes. So in this year, you want to ask yourself, as you enter into this full moon energy, what are the changes that I've had this year? Write down all of the things that have happened in your life this year, the good, the in-between, the not so good from your perspective, whatever it may have happened. I want you to write it down and ask yourself, what are the lessons that I learned? Because Gemini is going to announce that to you on November 30th or leading up to this day. Now, when we have those changes, some of you might feel, opening up those changes with open arms, with money and relationships, because that's definitely a big part of communication in this full moon. But some of you will also feel the sense of grief. You will feel the sense of endings, and understand that with change, we are allowing ourselves to do some spring cleaning in our energy, in our life, in order to accept all the things that we need to learn for this year. And this is why it's so important for you to sit, to visualize, and to really just see, what is the universe communicating with me as far as the changes that have happened, and what do I need to take in those lessons in order for me to really understand all the conscious lessons that I've learned in this coming year. Number 2, your shadow self. This full moon is happening on an intense level. What does that mean? Our shadow self is all parts of ourself that we learn beyond our deepest soul. Our shadow self tends to be things that we need to learn from karmic lessons, ancestral lessons, and even this lifetime lessons. During this time of change, we're going to notice that in the full moon, during this eclipse, we're going to be seeing a lot of our shadow kind of shift and really facing it head on. Now, in doing that, a lot of you need to nurture yourself. You need to connect with the heart space, the heart chakra at this time, as well as the sacral chakra. Now, as you know, the heart and the sacral are one of the most activating chakras that relate to relationships. So during this November full moon in Gemini, we're going to be going into what changes have to happen in our relationships in order for us to understand what the full macro perspective of this year is. You know, all those people that didn't show up when you needed them this year, this is what this time has come up for. All those people that surprised you and supported you this year, this is what this time is for. All these people that probably harmed you or hurt you, it was a purpose to bring you to this point of view. And those that brought you up and held you during your times of change. Really acknowledge the relationships that you've had and ask yourself, what can I learn from my relationships? How can I come from a space of love, not a space of anger, not a space of frustration, but a space of love? And during this November full moon, it's going to challenge us to step into our shadow self, to step into that energy and come from that space. And from those who listen to that are going to be rewarded into seeing a different perspective, heightening our consciousness, and heightening our gifts from a space of love, and so much more. So during this eclipse full moon on November 30th, I want you to fully communicate with yourself, your higher conscious self, as we hold into the energy of Gemini and really look into what are the things that I need to learn from my shadow self and what changes are being presented to me. Now, another thing that I will say is to connect with your feminine divine energy. So for those of you who are flourishing and you love the feminine divine and that is your space of flourish, this is your space that you feel at home, well, let me tell you, this is your time that you're probably going to feel at your most and at your best at this time. It is time to step into that feminine divine. Now, for some of you that have probably gone through trauma, been challenged in your relationships, maybe had some experiences emotionally through this feminine energy, through your sacral chakra, and you might have a feminine wounded sign, well, it's okay. This full moon is going to show you what parts and what wounds are still there and how to just do some self-care for those spaces. Dance, remove stagnant energy, feel the energy of the feminine divine, feel that energy from your sacral chakra and empower yourself, because that is what's going to make you feel ready to take the change that this Gemini is communicating to you through the cosmos. So make sure that you are taking this time, you are stepping into that feminine divine, you are really tapping into your sacral chakra and you're expanding it, because that's what's going to help you out. Dance, release, listen to some sacral chakra meditation, even do some things that help you with self-care. Self-care is an amazing way to heighten your vibration in your feminine divine. And also just allow yourself to connect. If you have a Yoni egg, this is a great time to add that into your, your wellness, or even incorporating it into your healing as you get prepared for this full moon in November. And even using your Yoni egg on the November full moon is a great way to use that energy to heal, but also to expand the feminine divine energy that you have within yourself. Number 3, there will be a point where you're gonna feel like things are so chaotic and you're gonna ask yourself, why am I even here? What is all this to bring me to? I know what you're talking about. You're saying this year has been crazy. It has been crazy for all of us. But during the eclipse full moon on November 30th in Gemini, she's really, this energy. And I say she because I really feel this earthly, feminine, like emotional energy coming in, and emotional in a different way. What I mean by that is just like feeling love for ourselves and not feeling anger for those who have harmed us, stepping into our power. And even though you're going to get to a point prior to the full moon where you just feel like things are so heightened, you're done, you're tired, and you're gonna feel the temptation to turn away. You're gonna feel the temptation to turn away from yourself. But I'm gonna tell you this, are you going to turn away from your emotions? Are you going to abandon yourself, your higher conscious self, your shadow self, your feminine energy, your true self, your inner child, all because of the changes that are happening? If you accept it through free will, if you want to accept these challenges and to see yourself and to actually see this is what this whole year has come to, this point right here exactly. And I will say that prior to the 20th and 29th will probably be the pressure point of the emotions. You're gonna feel it deep, deep, deep within, but you're gonna accept that challenge because you know the growth is coming. So know that with the whole chaos that's happening on November 30th, there will be so much growth in your relationships, in your heart space. There's no longer going to be anger held in your body no more, because this eclipse is going to show you what the anger is doing to you and those that you put that anger to words. It is karmic. It is going to hurt you as much as it will hurt other people. So why not release yourself from suffering that, The other thing that I really wanted to connect here is understanding how to connect with money. And I'm talking about money because money is a big thing that I do feel with what's going on with the energy on the 30th. A lot of you are going to be challenged, and even just doing money tapping techniques prior to this full moon and after, to really allow yourself to say, what am I learning about my relationship with abundance through my shadow self? Am I communicating my true thoughts on money or on abundance? Am I communicating what I truly divinely am accessible to, or am I holding the sense of anger because I'm still not where I want to be? You know, that's not going to help you. You need to take this time and energy to accept the chaos. And like I said, sit back and allow yourself to prepare, to have that notion, to have that mindset that that abundance is yours. And for a lot of you guys, you are currently going through another awakening. You know, it's like one awakening after another because you're doing all this inner work. You're doing more inner work than you've ever done before. So right now, this is your growth point. This is the point where you've gone through the awakening, and now you're seeing how you're growing. Now you're seeing the changes. Now you're seeing everything that has come to this very end point. You're seeing both sides of the scenario, where you were and where you are, where you can be, where you will be, where you are being. And by doing that, that's really allowing you to expand your consciousness. Number 4, the fourth thing about this full moon eclipse on November 30th in Gemini is that we are going to need to balance our ego self and our conscious self. Our ego, as in driving from a space of body pain. And I really keep repeating anger because I do feel like anger is a very big emotion for the collective during this full moon eclipse. Anger, sadness, grief, those words come in. And if any, let me know down below, like, what emotions are you feeling coming up to this full moon? What are you exactly feeling intentionally? Like, connect with that. Let me know. I want you guys to express that. I want you guys to release that, because that's the start of focusing on the growth and accepting the growth through the challenges that are given to you during this full moon. So balancing ego is just making sure that you are not stepping into that space of body pain, of reacting out of frustration of a new territory of energy that you are now going into based on the cosmos of how much energy is happening in the collective. And the conscious self is just connecting back to your conscious self and asking yourself, what would my conscious self want me to do? What would I want to be? Like, my conscious self is now, right? And I always tell people, don't look up at your conscious self, be your conscious self. That is expansion of it. So during this full moon, through the communication of Gemini, I want you to understand that with the Scorpio and Gemini energy working together, there's a lot of mystic energy coming through where we kind of know what things are going on, but we kind of don't know what's going on at the same time. And in doing that, sometimes we fall onto our ego on the back end. Don't do that. Allow yourself to manage your ego. And I always tell people that an ego plays two parts. It's for us to teach us, where we need to grow in ourselves, in our being, and in our path, our life path, and where we need to be, where we're going. It's a journey, and it's an excessive journey. So during this full moon, the ego is teaching us what things we're communicating from an external standpoint compared to an internal standpoint. And how can I connect with my conscious higher self to balance the two energies so I can fully say, I am ready to receive all the changes and all the expansion that the universe is giving me right now. I want you to type that down below. I am ready to accept all of the changes and all the expansion that the universe is giving me right now. Because the moment that you do that, then you're willing to accept that energy to come through. Then you're willing to really receive the lessons of this year and this full moon and eclipse. And like I said, you can either receive it or you can just allow yourself to resent from these changes, and it will still happen. So why not flow with it? Why not take care of yourself and allow yourself to accept that and to balance the energy by taking that free will and doing it anyway? Number 5, information. I can't stress this enough. We're definitely going to see a lot of information happen on social media in the world. I just feel like downloads, lots of downloads from ourselves. Make sure that you are not listening too much of the noise behind everything. I feel like that's one thing. Don't focus so much on the distractions during this full moon in Gemini. It's so important. And the reason why I say information is new and information that you already know will be heightened at the highest level at this point on these days, leading up to even the full moon. And this information is information that you need to know for your soul purpose for this year, to prepare you to fully go into the next stage. You're transitioning right now. You're really upgrading on a whole new level. So in doing that, I want you guys to accept that information, really journal down what you're getting, vivid dreams, signs, spiritual animals that come and connect with you, just really figuring that out and connecting with source. This is a time where you might feel more inclined to do deeper work. I know for me, during this time of doing this, I'm actually preparing to do a plant medicine ritual. So that's my way of connecting. That's where I feel I'm connecting with universe, by connecting with the cosmos and going into that dimension as a healer. But for you, you might feel called to just, you know, sit down and notice a synchronicity and say, whoa, that really connected with me. Write it down. What does, just really connect, what does that mean? You know, be with that energy at that time, because that's what's gonna help you with leading up on the 30th of what you're meant to step into. And for a lot of you, this really brings this whole video back to full circle: life purpose. Your life purpose is going to be defined on a deeper level during this time on the 30th. And I do think a lot of you are going to have some realizations of things that you were like, man, I knew this all the time, but now it's like my perspective, all sides of myself that was communicated during this full moon has reaffirmed to me that this is my purpose. All this had to happen to bring me where I am right now, and that's okay, right? But full acceptance comes in a whole other way. So it's understanding how to accept all sides of you to prepare you for your life purpose that is coming. And I say this all the time, guys, you are not going to be the same person. You're not going to be the same person in 2021. And get ready to receive that, because there's so much that is divinely yours. So I really hope you guys really like this video, this energy update on the top 5 things that you need to know for this full moon in Gemini on November 30th. On the full moon eclipse, it's a very strong one, comes in 2, so we're gonna be hit before the end of the year. Make sure I see you guys here, subscribe, put notification bells, as well as make sure you also put a little calendar and notification bell so you can come join us here November 30th at 9 p.m. Eastern time for the full moon meditation and energy healing that I will be sharing for you to really take advantage of all the lessons that I shared in this video. So I really hope this was helpful. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.